market is building up more and more bullish news. In 17 hours, we're going to get to see how the market is responding to the rate cuts. If what the probability is true, that means you're going to see at least 25 basis point cut towards 50, and the crypto market is already starting to react. And it's starting to react well for those who are aligned with the market. You look to get into something, you get out with a decent move. Again, you can do this repeatedly over and over again if you are in the right assets. So the question is, are you about to participate in the altcoin market? Because the altcoin market, when you're on a weekly chart, gives you this idea. The first burst, it's not going to be that big, but few assets will check this box. That's just a 10% move, a micro leg up before the macro move begins. XRP in that equation looks decent. We came up to the resistance. We're testing the resistance. We didn't break that to the upside yet. However, look at the moving average now. The moving average is starting to rotate back, and it's a 12-hour chart. Pull that onto a daily, it's starting to get saturated. It's starting to try to turn over. And one more thing. You look at the last daily candle close, and the daily candle close here gives you the equation clearly. You literally have this, which is the 17th. The daily candle close gives you the idea there was a decent amount of selling pressure which failed to push the price low. So that means buyers are interested in buying XRP at this price point. That's a good option. That's a great thing. How can this impact in the coming days and weeks? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. While you go through the entire crypto market trying to figure out which one is looking good and which one is not, this is going to be the easiest place to be to find out the opportunities, to find out the breakouts, to get the right trades. If you're interested in these kind of trades, and if you expect your portfolio to slowly compound, then yes, join the SI family. Use the link in the description below to get all of those. Now, while you ride back into the market, some of the things which you need to keep in mind is what's happening over last week, what's happening over last 30 days, which of these assets are starting to pick up, which segments do they belong to, which category do they belong to. This is really important. If you take last quarter and look at the assets attracting cash flow, trending higher, versus the ones going against it, you see a huge difference. If you are a micro trader, yes, you look for micro opportunity, but then you jump out. We recently did a lot of them. I just showed you. So understanding what type of an investor or trader you are is important. And once you get to that point, now we are looking for the right opportunity. You need to make sure if capital is entering one particular segment and one particular tier, whether that's small cap, medium cap, or large cap, you are involved there. And once you get to that point, you're now looking at Bitcoin for sure. There is no difference. Next 24 hours, it is going to be volatile because the speculation would be a lot high. Some would go against the market, some would go for the market. But keep this in mind. This is all that you are looking at. Now, what do I mean? XRP coming back to 0.57 towards 0.56 is still a bullish narrative because we're not getting rejected to the downside heavily. Keeping all of this in mind, look at XRP on a daily chart. Now, yes, we're going to go look at the macro. We're going to go look at the micro. But one of the key ideas which you need to understand is this. You're still below that trend line. You need a break to the upside. If not, what this can do is an A, B, C move and then right back down. So this is still in the picture. When the majority goes bullish, understand the narrative as well. But then higher time frame structure supersedes everything. Fine. That's where you come back and you do look at the price and say, this is attractive because you're not getting rejected heavily to the downside with heavy impulse. Historically speaking, what we have seen is whenever you cross 21-day moving average on a 3-day chart to the downside, what we have seen is a direct drawdown in most of the cases. So this is what you're looking at. When it kind of gets supported, it goes up. When it kind of gets supported without a big drop below the 21-day moving average on a 3-day chart, you ride back to the upside. And what's the average upside? It has been a 60%, it has been a 35%, it has been a 100%. So take the lowest, 30%. If we put that into the equation, we are now arguing that the price of XRP is about to test 0.7. Now, what is 0.7 level? It is breaking through the pattern. However, it again is a horizontal resistance. So unless you see the price break through this territory, we're still a little bit inside that slippery slope. The equation is not changing. You can put this on a weekly and that's where the game actually comes on. It's live because what you're trying on a macro here is to break higher. So any micro move at this point to the upside on a macro, but remember, it's a weekly chart. And it's not just a weekly chart, it's a pattern formation inside the weekly, which took 1,295 days till this point. Usually, 30% of that time is going to be the targets. That itself is a year. So keep in mind, the pattern which we are talking about is not a short-term structure. It's not that. When you go on the macro, this is what you're looking at. Yeah, when you bounce, you are looking at different levels of resistance. You can keep the wicks to the outside and see, a break of this range for XRP is about to give you a decent ride up. If you are interested in the entire 20x ride up, that's your measured move. If you are conservative, this is your measured move. So in any case, what we are talking about after the breakout, say you're a conservative guy, you're looking at this, which is 3 times the all-time highs. So you're close to $10 at that point. This is what you're talking about. Now remember, all of this in the weekly chart gives you the right idea. It's true, but on a monthly, you get to see a picture, which you should not forget. So yes, on a market cycle basis, for the current cycle, you're looking for the 1 and the 2. You're looking for the wave 2. Perfect. Somewhere around there, you're going to see the wave 2, the correction, wave 3. But my question would be, what do you see on a macro, cyclical perspective? Combine all the cycles till now. This looks like the 1. This looks like the 2. This is going for the 3. And one more thing. When you go for wave 3, what does this asset do? I mean, that's important because textbook pattern does not give you the biggest run-ups in wave 3. it gives you in wave 2. However, what we have seen is the 1, the 2, and the 3, which is big. Again, the 1, the 2, and the 3. 3, for some reason, is bigger in that series. Fine. Now we go up here. You're looking at this. You are really interested in this. You're like, okay, the 1, the 2, the 3. 3 was decent on that micro leg up. Now you look at the macro move and you're arguing the perspective. Okay, this is the 1. This is the 2. This is the 3. That's still big. 35-40x is not a small deal. Say you want to go all the way back. You go back to 2014. The 1, the 2, the 3. You want to put things into perspective, numbers, accuracy. This is 150% in wave 1. And then in wave 2, you did 360%. But in wave 3, you went up like 10x. You get the idea here? So if you take that equation all the way into 2021, which most of us were here, you'll actually notice the fact that that was 80% right up first. The next was like 100. The difference in that towards the third wave is heavy. You're doing double, more than double of what the wave 2 has done. This is what you should keep in mind when everyone else talks about this. Now, the asset, its fundamentals, no one is going to argue with you about that. That's the truth. But the question is, how is the market going to behave? You, me, and everyone else is holding on to a chunk of this for next 5-10 years. Great. But the real question which you should answer is, how much are you going to sell when this pop actually happens? Maybe it's $10, maybe it's $20, but wherever you get to see the clear divergence. This is a monthly chart where the price action is arguing, I'm making a top bud jump out, right? So you can follow a monthly, you can follow a weekly, but understand whenever the market gives you that signal, that one signal, you need to decide what you should be doing. Maybe you're that guy who's going to take 50% out and let 50% ride for next 5 years. Up, down, you don't care. Maybe you're someone who's looking to cash out 70, 80, 90% and just keep 10% there and then buy back when the prices are coming down 80 to 90%. We have seen such drawdowns in XRP, in crypto, every single time. You go up for sure, but then you come back down. So using this in the right manner in your portfolio in a balanced way is where you get to take the right advantage. Now, say your capital is low. That's where this comes into the picture. You need to slowly compound your portfolio into an area where now you're comfortable just buying one or two long-term assets. Let them ride. Let them just sail with the wind. If you are that one guy, understand risk is a part of this equation. It will not go away. There is no reward without risk. So understand your risk tolerance first and then ask which type of crypto are you going into. Because if you're a risky guy, you're not looking at XRP, man. The risk is so low. The fundamentals are steady. You're now looking at a different project, most likely a small cap or even a micro cap. But to make decent amount of money, you don't need to risk everything you have. You should not do that. What you should do is to educate yourself what you should be doing. The easy point, as I say this every time, whenever the Ranko chart starts showing you the upside, there is something coming up, guys. And after consolidative movements, that used to give you a decent ride. So whether that's on a horizon which you really like or even bigger, it's all tilting to the upside now. And this is exactly where you should be asking the question. If this is happening right now, how long is it going to take? Because I see a lot of different equations being spread out. And I want to ask you one thing. If you look at this chart and answer the question honestly, remember, this is your money, your portfolio. You are deciding on that. Do you see something other than what I'm about to show you here? The 1, 2, 3, the three-wave structure. Then you go into a consolidation. Then again, the 1, the 2, the 3, you go into a consolidation. So on a macro, what have you done here? This is important, guys. You need to answer this. If you agree or not. If you do, then the question is very, very simple for you now. Because the 1 wave is done, the 2 is done. What are you looking for? 3. Okay, fine, good. Now, what would you expect in an asset like this to do for wave 3? This is very important. Your wave 1 here is 20%. Now, this is all short term, trying to extrapolate that into the macro because we don't have the crystal ball to see the future. We really don't. So what we will do is to look through what we have done before. Fine. So you get the point. Wave 3 is smaller than wave 2 here in Bitcoin. Great. But it's substantially big from wave 1. Great. So you get to see this. 20%, then 80%, and then again close to 80%. So you're coming close to the wave 2 and multiple times of wave 1. Fine. So now you have to look for what the wave 1 is going to be. Maybe it's this one. Maybe we are about to do that. I really don't know. But what we do know is the macro 1, 2 is done. You're going for the 3. Why is this important? Keep that drawing there. Jump onto the weekly and ask, oh, this shit is bad, man. I'll actually take you to Bitcoin on a macro. Let's see where I get the chart. Yeah, fine. This is cool. You need to stick on this. I'll draw this again. The 1, the 2, most likely the 3. Great. Now put that equation into the macro chart. Now decide for yourself. If you think this asset is going to $1 trillion, now why am I saying that? Because there are people out there in the market who are very familiar for you, me, and everyone else, giving you the equation like this. So bullish. What's their horizon? That's the question you should ask. If they are looking at next 20 years, 30 years, they're fine, guys. They're fine. Do you have that time? If you're not willing to hold that asset during that horizon with them, you're smoked. You're smoked. Why? Because the market is going to be irrational. But remember, now it's not irrational. Why would I argue a point like that? You buy close to the bottom, you sell close to the top. So this was your bottom. We all agree on this point. I mean, there is nothing different. You're just connecting all the bottoms. So the bottom was here. Fine. You go back in time, look at what we were arguing Jan 2023, December 2022. We were calling for the bottom. Fine. Now, put this picture inside your head and ask yourself, what do you see this chart telling you? You have the top, you have the top, you have the last top here, and you're trying to see where you would go. Oh, for me, that does not look good for next 5 to 10 years for this asset. There is going to be a saturation. There is going to be a macro consolidation. So keep this into account and understand this wave. The wave 2 in altcoin, the wave 3 in Bitcoin is one of that season which you're not going to get back for a few years, 3 years, 5 years, I don't know, but most likely you'll have to wait for a long period of time. So as soon as the news comes, it's going to be volatile, but if you're positioned well enough, in few weeks to few months, you are watching Bitcoin standing close to this level, maybe 100, maybe 95, maybe 105, I don't know, but that is going to give you the signal. When the whales exit the market at that time, join them. Don't argue with yourself. Just follow the money. And if you like to get support, to get help in each and every points I've argued, be in the Scientific Investor family. 1,230 plus members are there right now going through all the education, all the opportunities, all of my trades. So they know, yeah, this guy is not just saying he bought there, he sold here. That's all that you need to know. If you'd like to join, use the link in the description. And if you think you received value, smash the like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.